Hi everyone, so today I'm doing a pale girl makeup routine. I've been seeing a lot on TikTok that we're needing some pale girl makeup, so I'm here to give you some today. I think I'm gonna go for very icy Victoria's Secret cool toned, and I'm gonna be using a red blush. Yes, on pale skin. It is beautiful. I'm gonna prime my eyes using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I am someone that cannot use concealer on my eyelids. It looks crepey and just gross and it creases automatically. So I have to use a designated eyeshadow primer. This one and the NARS one are my favorite. I'm going to be using the Smoke and Roses palette from ColourPop. To set my primer, I'm going to go in with Attraction, just the lightest shade in the palette. This is nice because I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but this light shade is actually just like a nude. It's not pink. I feel like any really light shade from a palette always turns pink on my pale skin. I'm going to go in with this cooler shade, like Heaven, and I'm going to put that all throughout my crease. This will be our lighter transition shade. I don't really want this eye look to be dark, but I do want to keep some definition on the eye. Just taking a clean fluffy brush. All of my brushes are by Morphe. I really like Morphe brushes. And just making sure that's all blended out. I'm going to go in with Whisper with, I like how I just said that all my brushes are Morphe and this is a Real Techniques brush, but with a skinny little domed brush because I'm going to make this very concentrated on the outer parts of my eye. Just dabbing a little bit of that in there because I'd rather build it up later than have too much on to have to blend out. I feel like the nice trick with hooded eyes is either looking direct or looking down but not shutting your eye, just kind of keeping them relaxed so you'll be able to actually see that depth in your eye. Almost shaping my eye so you can get that nice round, but keeping it on the outer part of my eye. Girl, I just wipe that off. Going back in with like Heaven to help blend that all in. I'm not really bringing it in because I don't want to move that darker shade in. I just want to blur it a little bit. Or it just looks like it's like casting a shadow. Taking the Morphe Naughty palette. These glitters are so beautiful. I'm going to be taking this lightest shade. I'm going to go in with a flatter brush. There we go. I just want it to be like a little whoosh of glitter. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to be taking a smaller brush and putting that right on my brow bone. Clean, fluffy brush again. Just blending that in, just so there's not any harsh lines. I'm going to do my base and then I'll finish the eyes later. I'm going in with the Saie Star Glow and rubbing that all over my face. I love the glow that this gives to any foundation. Next I'm going in with the REM Beauty foundation. I am in the color Fair 2N. This is very full coverage. So I'm going to do one pump of that. And I mainly like to concentrate my foundation in places that you'll see more of my skin tone to where my blush and my contour are. I do not like to bring it anywhere near my under eye. But I'm mainly concentrating this down here, in the middle of my forehead, on my chin. Now I'm going to be just taking a damp sponge. This one is from Morphe. Where is that hair? It's either my hair or my dog's hair. That into the skin. And I am blending it up, but the farther I go up, the more I'm tapping it to kind of take some of that product off. Next I'm going in with the Morphe concealer. This is in the shade Blossom, so it's their pink shade. And I'm dabbing that right here. But I'm also gonna go in with the Sweetener Concealer from REM Beauty. And I'm just gonna dab that right underneath. Just keeps that pink from being bright pink on my face. But I do like the brightening effect that it has. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Blush in Dream Pop. Yes, it is bright red, but it looks so pretty on pale skin. Just gonna dab that in. I've been loving keeping blush like underneath my eye. I think it looks so pretty. I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Smooth Blur Contour. This is in the shade Shadow. I'm gonna bring that up here and I'm gonna drag it all along in here. I know it looks scary, but it does blend out beautifully. Taking a flat brush from Morphe, blending that in, especially since my hair is up, I'm really getting into that hairline. Now I'm gonna take my makeup sponge again and just blend that in. Kind of dabbing over it a little bit. It is still going to be there, but I feel like that is what helps blend a lot of these darker shades into our skin. For my concealer, I'm taking this tiny little sponge from Morphe, and I actually like to bend it so I can keep my concealer concentrated in one area. You see how much that pink brightened up my eye? And going back and forth from the pink to the skin tone concealer, again, just make sure we don't look really pink underneath our eye. In with the Hourglass Veil translucent setting powder, taking a little sponge. So to make sure it doesn't get chalky, you want to load up your sponge and then dab it on your hand. Before you go and set that, just go under one time in that little crease just to make sure that's all blended, and then immediately go in. I have naturally drier skin, so I do like to keep my setting powder away from my nose because that is where I get the driest. I am going to go back in with our contour stick. Just put a little bit on my nose. I've been loving doing that. I think it looks so cute. I like to blend it in with my finger because I don't want a ton being taken away. Cute. Just to help give some color to the nose because our whole face can end up looking a little flat. I'm taking the Morphe blush palette in After Party, taking an angled blush brush, and I'm actually going directly underneath my eye, concentrating it more on this outer portion, almost like my blush is contouring my face, and then stippling the rest in to give a nice sheen. This is the Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light, and literally just taking the smallest amount, little dabs, and blending that in. Again, pushing it into my hairline, on my ears. I don't love to blend bronzer down my neck, especially when I'm this pale. I feel like it can almost make me look dirty. This is what I feel like seals everything in together. So I'm gonna take a setting powder. Make sure it's not a foundation powder because that's just gonna be too much pigment. Taking a big fluffy brush, and I'm tapping that all over the bronzer, the blush, just kind of tones it down, but you can still see everything, and it all looks nice and blurred in together. Now again, since my skin is drier, I do try to keep it away from the drier parts of my face. So anywhere in this section for me, I keep it away. You can still see the depth and the pretty color of the blush, but it's not so in your face. I'm taking the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats, just sweeping that. Lord have mercy, look at that. Gorge! I freaking love this stuff. I love this stuff as much as I love the Amrezy highlight, anyone have that? I finally ran out of mine. I feel like I had it for a little too long. Probably was really expired, but I loved it so much. I need them to bring it back. Obviously putting a little bit on the tip of my nose. Gorge! The best setting spray on the market, the Milani 24 Hour. This one also, I feel like this one definitely like fuses in all your powders and your products together. I go pretty ham with this. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll get back to the eye. I'm gonna go back to my eyes. I'm gonna take that Whisper shade, a flat brush, and I'm keeping this on the outer part of my eye because I want my eyes to look very doe-like. Taking another clean flat brush, shade that we dusted all over our eyelids from the Morphe Naughty palette. I'm going to be very generous with this underneath my eye. Never have enough glitter, especially around this time of year. Now I'm going to take the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Hemp Milk and line my waterline. Now I'm going to curl my lashes and use the L'Oreal Panorama Mascara. L'Oreal mascaras are my favorite. Like, I do not spend a lot of money on mascara. I just think they dry out so quickly, and there are really good ones from the drugstore. And there's no L'Oreal one that isn't a favorite of mine. Gonna make sure I'm wiggling that all the way down at the base of my eye so it looks like my eyelashes are a lot fuller than what they are. I mean, this mascara is phenomenal, but I'm gonna take it up a notch and use some half lashes. I don't know why I've never worn half lashes before, but they are so comfortable, again, because they're not going completely across your eyelid. Using the Duo Active eyelash glue. It's just the one I picked up. Couldn't really tell you if it's a favorite or not. And then I like to take my little tweezers and squeeze them to my lashes. Go back in with my mascara and just lightly put some of these on the lashes. I don't like to put a ton because I do like to reuse my eyelashes. And then I'm also going to put some of that on my bottom lashes. Here's the eye look up close. So pretty. Feel like a little porcelain doll. I'm going to go in with MAC Whirl Lip Pencil. REM Beauty Glossy Balm and Skinny Dipped. I've been wearing this to work pretty much all the time because it actually is pretty quick. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!